Today on my Apple Box, I want to talk about the pilot episode of Superman and Lois, titled Pilot. So this is a new show in the Arrowverse, or as some are calling it, I guess the CW verse. And it's definitely a show that a lot of fans have been waiting for, including me. So full disclosure, I've never read any of the comics, so I'm sure there are a lot of lore related and canon things that I just don't know. So I just want to go ahead and get that out there. Okay, so we've seen the Superman before in the Arrowverse, right? Mostly in connection to the Supergirl show. Similarly, the same can be said of this Lois Lane. I really like this pairing. They have great chemistry together, and I feel like these characters or these actors are definitely doing justice to both of these long-standing and long-beloved characters. So with this new series, we not only get Superman doing Superman-y things, but we have Clark and Lois parenting two teenage twin sons, Jordan and Jonathan Kent. So this will be definitely a new and interesting dynamic for Clark Kent and, Lois. So around the middle of the episode, Lois says this line. She says, "No one ever dreams about the problems, but every life has them, even the extraordinary ones." And I love this line. And I definitely feel like this is basically the crux of this show. Clark trying to balance his life as Superman with his life as a husband and dad. And as far as the villains go, this episode does set up at least two possible antagonists. I'm thinking one is going to be for Superman and one is going to be for Lois. A name that came up more than once during the episode was Morgan Edge, and Edge has recently acquired the Daily Planet, something that Lois is not very happy about. We also learned that he's retrofitting the coal mines in Smallville to produce alternative energy. I'm sure that his motives for both of those endeavors are not honorable, and I'm sure Lois will be ferreting out the truth very quickly. Another possible antagonist is someone that we learn at the end of the episode is called Captain, or is referred to as Captain Luthor. Now, this character we see earlier in the episode, and let me say that fight that he had with Superman, them flying all over the world and up in space, yeah, I'm here for all of that. It was very interesting to see, or I'm very interested to see what the deal is with him and I guess, we know that John Cryer is the Lex in the Supergirl series, and this is obviously not John Cryer, so I'm wondering, or I'm guessing, that this is going to be a Luthor from another Earth. So what are my thoughts on the things that happened in this episode? First off, spoiler alert, but can we talk about Martha Kent? I was not expecting her to die in the first episode, or not at all, really. It's just not something I ever thought about, I guess. That moment when Clark gets to the Kent farm and goes into the room, I'm sure that most people shed more than a few tears during that scene. And I know that the fact that she was going to die was alluded to a few scenes earlier, but even then it was still very sad to see Clark go through that. Like, Martha Kent, she's as much of a mainstay in the story of Clark Kent and Superman as anyone else is, and yeah, it was a very sad moment. I feel like with Martha gone, Lois is probably gonna be the glue that holds this family together. Clark is feeling kind of inadequate right now about a lot of things, mostly about the twins or about Jordan. And speaking of the twins, they're teenagers. They're just coming into their own. They're 14 years old, and I must say that I'm glad that it was Jordan who manifested powers. I'm not sure if John will also develop some later, but I think it would have been totally like unbalanced if John would have got the powers, since he's already like, top athlete and all this other stuff. He's like almost, the perfect son. And I'm hoping that this is something that will bring Jordan and Clark closer together. Their relationship is very strained at the beginning of this episode. This is something I feel that could lead to a closer relationship between the two, or hopefully. But I must say that I am worried that Jordan may not use his powers for good. They had a couple of close-up shots of Jordan, and I'm worried a little bit how this is gonna go. And also, can we talk about why Clark still has his pod in the barn? Like, dude, you have a whole Fortress of Solitude that you could have put that in already. Like, I feel like he low-key wanted the boys to find out. I do like how the show is kind of revisiting the first love concept with Jordan and Sarah, who's Lana Lang's oldest daughter. It's kind of like Smallville 2.0 for me, but I'm here for it. I love me some Smallville, so all the vibes, I'm here for it. And I feel like they are almost definitely going to start dating at some point during the show, because when Jordan kissed her, like, there's definitely some interest there. Like, when Jordan kissed her, she kind of kissed him back for a second, But we'll see. Also, speaking of Lana, did anybody else get any weird vibes from her? Because, she was acting a little suspect when it came to Clark. She was making comments about Clark not aging and talking about them surviving that car accident without a scratch and all the weird things that happened when they were younger. And then, you have the twins keep, getting into these situations and they're surviving virtually unharmed. I feel like Lana might know a little more than what she's letting on about a lot of things. But that's just the vibes I was catching off her. I don't know. I forgot to mention General Lane, Lois's dad. I find it interesting that him and Clark have gotten to a point where they're not only coexisting, but working together. Although I still think General Lane kind of sees Clark, or rather Superman, as an asset to be used. Despite Clark now being his son-in-law. What he said to Lois, though, about she might have fallen in love with Clark Kent, but she married Superman, and Superman will never have a normal life, and points were made. There's definitely some truth in that, but there does need to be a line drawn. At that moment, Clark needed to be with his family, and they needed him home, not out doing Superman-y things. Besides, this is Lois Lane. She knew what she was signing up for, and she's totally strong enough. And can we talk about this Captain Luthor guy? At first, I was like, okay, Lex. And then I thought, well, not the Lex that we know Lex. I'm assuming it's a Lex. It might not be a Lex Luthor. I guess it could be some other Luthor. But I'm pretty sure it's probably a Lex Luthor from a different Earth. He knows a lot about Clark or Superman. He's Kal-El. He knows about his weakness for kryptonite. He's not playing around with Superman. Like, he stabbed our boy in the chest with some kryptonite and, just let him fall back to Earth. They in space, he just let him fall back to Earth. And I know this is a shot that we've kind of seen before. But can I just say that shot of Superman falling out of space back down to Earth, like, that was a beautiful shot. Despite what was going on, that was really, like, there are a lot of beautiful shots in this show. And speaking of that, this show definitely has a different feel from the other shows in the Arrowverse. Like, this episode was really well shot. You can tell that CW, I know that HBO Max has put some money into the show as well. And you can really, really tell from the way it looks. The effects are really good. The whole feel of the show and the look of the show was very cinematic. And I loved it. when I first heard about the show, I must admit I was a little skeptical, but I love me some Superman. So I was excited to see how they were going to tackle this concept. And so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. If you haven't checked out Superman and Lois yet, it's definitely a recommend for me. This pilot had so many great looking shots, and the story itself is pretty dang heartwarming with the Kent family. It's a lot of good stuff. So, what did you think about the episode? Do you like how things are progressing so far? What villain do you think the rest of the season will ultimately be about? Morgan Edge or this Captain Luthor guy? Or will it be a combination of the two? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video and want to hear more, definitely click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you'll know when a new video drops. Until next time on My Apple Box, bye!